I've had a long-standing interest in remote sensing or teledetection. I wondered if that new technique could be used to help improve waste management, especially solid waste management, and started to look at different methods that might be used to identify things, defects of interest. And I discovered that nighttime thermal infrared imagery could tell us where water was infiltrating through a cover into a landfill. However, this is a very special method that requires certain conditions, expertise, and it's not easy to do. So I switched to other methods that are more common and began to look to see if I could use those methods to identify defects on landfills. After some experimentation, I went out with inspectors and realized that I needed to change my focus quite a bit and look for more defects, and especially leachate seeps and where barren areas were where gas might be killing the vegetation. Using what we call low-cost techniques, aerial photography and LiDAR imagery that already was being used by other government agencies, I could find that imagery and put it to use to identify defects on landfills. Turns out that if you can substitute good knowledge of physics and remote sensing and image processing, you can make these low-cost methods do a lot of work in identifying defects that are frequently overlooked by inspectors because of vegetation or limitations of time. One of the particular method that I'm promoting and that developed has to do with the use of existing aerial photography and LiDAR that was recorded often by government agencies, but sometimes other groups for other purposes. And I use that imagery with special image processing techniques to get to find defects on the landfill covers. This is very low cost because I don't have to go collect the aerial photography. Unfortunately, I don't get a choice of when the photography was collected, but I can use my knowledge of physics and image processing to make this photography do good work for us. There are several types of defects that are of interest. The first one I've already talked about, which are depressions in the landfill covers that collect water. The second is erosion that makes the cover thinner and exposes the waste to vectors such as mice and animals and birds. Another defect is landslides. If the landfill is very high, the waste is very unstable and can cause the landfill to greatly deform, and that opens up cracks and opportunities for erosion that can expose the waste. Another defect has to do with barren ground and stressed vegetation, which are indications of gas leaking or leachate coming out at the surface or at the sides of a landfill. So we can use the photography to identify these defects to make so that the inspector can make better use of their time when they go out to look for defects on closed landfills.